Has there ever been proof of life on Mars yet?
No, but we've never made an honest attempt to look. We're making an honest attempt right now. Unfortunately, it's not going to be till 2034 or 5 until we get those samples back. But, they're only, I think they're taking 18 or 24 samples.
That's
ish, which is, yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to do. but yeah, it's so, I mean, 2 people could do in a week what every Mars rover we've sent there has done in all of the time they've spent on that planet, which Absolutely. Is multiple combined years. It's so frustrating.
But could the argument not be made, though, because Mars was so far away, it could not generate enough heat and enough to create or sustain life? Yes, it had water, but could not.
No, the problem with, I hate it when people make the Goldilocks argument, because people pretend that the conditions on Earth for life are the types of conditions that they find themselves in. And this is not even remotely the case. There's life inside of water that is boiling hot in Yellowstone.
Yep.
There's life in Antarctica. So our temperature range is approaching 300 Fahrenheit, something like that. But when
I say life, I'm talking about sentient life, with a conscience like us. We have not found anything that is like us that could survive in those extreme heats or extreme colds.
Well, we don't know what kinds of conditions sentient life requires in order to exist. We don't know that. We know what it looks like for us, but we don't know that if Earth had been different, some sort of sentient, or I mean, friggin', I would argue that extremely simple forms of life are sentient to a certain extent, but sentient to the extent we don't know what kinds of limiting ranges and conditions and whatever there are for those. We know how it happened for us, but you can't look at the sequence of events that happen and then conclude that that's the only way that kind of event could have ever happened. That's pretty illogical. And the other thing about life elsewhere is we haven't even tried to look in any real rigorous way.
Okay, but then couldn't the argument be made for us to just assume that evolution is true and the Big Bang Theory is true, is single-minded or narrow-minded as well? Like, why couldn't we say that creation does exist, that a form of some type of superpower, whether it be a god or not, could have made this? I mean, we don't know, so would it not be an easy way to say, yeah, that's a possibility as well?
There are ways in which that argument is falsifiable. So I would argue that for all intents and purposes, young Earth creationism is completely falsified by all of the data that we have. If it's true, and God created the natural world in order to the natural world works in accordance with the way God created the universe, and people say that science is just discovering God's creation, then the only acceptable answers would be naturalistic answers that point to the narrative around that interpretation, like the young Earth interpretation in particular. And there's absolutely no data that does that. So people just say, well, God could have done it in this way. A being like that could have done literally anything, which means that there's this very weird dilemma, almost like a paradox, where an explanation that could explain anything explains literally nothing in particular. So there's that problem. I mean, if somebody wants to argue for some sort of weird version of theism that perfectly fits with all the everything we know about the natural world, or deism, which I think is more tenable, then that's fine, but I don't think you have any real justification for it.
Okay, so could we not make the argument then that creation exists because they have found deep down inside us possible traces of stardust? So a creator would have taken the natural universe to create Earth and create mankind.
We don't know what a creator would do. We have no idea.
It's guess. It's like science. Science's best guess.
Except you have the order of operations wrong. You have the data with no conclusion in mind. Well, that's actually not the case. So, in science, you have to make predictions about what, because you're trying to develop a model or an explanation for something before the fact, and so science is in the business of making prophecies, kind of like religion is. The difference is when prophecies don't come true in science, we say, therefore, the idea is false, unlike religion. And also, unlike religion, scientific prophecies actually do come true from time to time. But
well, that's why I'm trying to make the argument without using religion.
The thing you could make the argument is literally just post hoc. Like, well, yeah, the creator could have done this. And this is what I was explaining is the problem earlier. A possible explanation that could be literally anything explains nothing in particular. Because, like, could God have created the universe yesterday and it just looks like God created the universe billions of years ago? Yes. Could God have created the universe billions of years ago? Yes. Which of those ideas is more tenable? They're equally tenable, which means we have our neither hypothesis is, like, you can't weigh either of them against each other. No. They're equally bad.
Okay, I can't argue your point there. You definitely are correct there. So I will say that I still believe in creation. I like to believe that there is something out there that is more powerful than we are. Whether creation be a god, or to satisfy some people out there, aliens. I just have a hard time believing that Earth just formed and then a single cell organism turned into multi-cell organisms and turned into us. I just have a hard time swallowing that.
Yeah. Something, speaking of swallowing single-celled things, something, your mom, something. I have a question. Are you Canadian?
I am. Why?
Yeah, you outed yourself. Outing yourself should be specifically designated only for Canadians, because I know that because you said out instead of out. So outing yourself, that is specific only to Canadians now. I'm making it a rule. Because when they out themselves, they out themselves.
So does me being Canadian just automatically discredit me then?
No, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying I knew it. I fucking knew it, Paul.
Yeah, you definitely guessed it. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. Have yourself a good night.